Haha, I crushed you.
That was a sick hand, man. Like,
Yeah. The turn 1 Ancestral Visions really helped out that game.
so there's a lot of debate of whether or not to run Freeze Mage or Malgo Shaman. So in general, Freeze Mage is more consistent. So against, say, mid-range, like Secret Paladin, it'll have a winning matchup. However, Malgo Shaman with more heal and more AoE is much better for against aggro. And they'll both do exceptional against control.
Mm. Yeah, the control matchup is definitely one that those types of decks just prey upon. Just a nice, easy, slow game. And once your opponent realizes, oh, wait, these guys are just going to burst me down once they've assembled the combo, it's too late for them to do anything. So a control deck would really have to try and beat down an Ancestral Shaman, which is already hard. As you mentioned, lots of healing.
Yeah. And then they brand Dirty Rat your combo, and then
it's all
you're out of luck.
I had a Dirty Rat played down on turn 2, pulling out Malagos on turn 3 one game. It's, I play almost exclusively Malagos Shaman and Wild as well, so I love that deck.
Yeah. The Shaman just has all of the tools. So this is going to be the Arena Lock Khmer.
Right. With the similar combo finish.
I don't think either of them are running the Zoth. So that's the interesting bit. In general, you have 3 finishers, and you can only pick 2 of them. There's the combo, there's Lord Jiraxxus, and then there's N'Zoth.
And both are running Jiraxxus and
combo.
Leroy Jenkins, right? Wow. And Dark Bomb was such a huge card that Warlocks lost. Like it was what they needed when Goblins versus Gnomes came out. Just a nice, solid, easy answer. It doesn't discard a card from your hand early in the game.
The simple text is very promising for it.
All right. I mean, as Warlock cards naturally weaker due to the strength of the hero power. So getting something like deal 2 or 2 mana deal 3 is fantastic in this class.
And he's keeping the Gluttonous Ooze just for the Jiraxxus coming up eventually.
Definitely. There's no way that he's ever going to play that until he sees Jiraxxus. And a nice Twilight Drake getting the 8 extra health, easily dealing with the Imp King boss.
But there's a Spellbreaker on the back end, so we might see that.
This does, however, remove a potential silence on like a Thorson, but a nice way to clear off the 4/9. Otherwise, fairly difficult to remove for Warlock. Think he'll go for this Kazakus here?
Yeah, 5 mana spell is what I'd go for.
Ooh, opts the tap, potentially to play Emperor Thorson next turn. Just to set up a nice big discount on all of his cards.
He's going to want to play Emperor with both pieces of his combo.
Oh,
or
that's
2 pieces.
Right. That's right. You do need... Yeah, I forgot about that.
Currently, he only has Leroy Jenkins, so he's looking for Faceless or the Power Overwhelm.
Yeah, otherwise, you can't play it. Well, actually, if you hit the Leroy, you would be able to, but that is 10 mana, so it's very expensive. And this is a long game, so yeah, no rush on the Thorson now, I guess.
And Lord Jiraxxus was picked up, so...
He's 10 cards, though.
And he does play it, so the combo will be 10 mana.
Yeah, I don't see in any world where the opponent decides not to clear the Thorson here.
It's one of the must-kills, right?
Definitely. So otherwise, your opponent will just get so much value, and especially with Warlock power. Does go for the clear, and responds with his own Thorson. Which, as of right now, UKR could just siphon it, which is probably what he's going to do. He also does have the ability to Abyssal Enforcer and Dark Bomb, potentially saving Siphon for something a lot larger.
And increasing his own board advantage.
That's right. Start putting some beats down. There was, I mean, oh wait, no, he couldn't. That was 6 mana. Could have Demon Wrath, but he required 1 more to do that. AoE not particularly useful in this matchup, as most of the Reno Warlock cards are big threats.
Yes. Dirty Rat?
He's gonna go for the Dirty Rat. I think he was setting up for the coin twisting nether there if something huge came out of that. Gluttonous Ooze is probably the safest combo.
I think he actually kind of wanted the Ooze to go by, like, over Kazakis or Leroy Jenkins.
Yeah, it does preserve the value from the Jiraxis weapon. However,
he does
pulling off...
right?
Yeah, he does decide to cast another anyways. But pulling out the either potentially a Reno or a Kazakis is pretty huge too. And this is where I think he's going to go for the Kazakis potion.
Or
a top deck in the Mountain Giant. That's pretty good.
Puts on pressure.
Ooh, top deck into Siphon Soul. It's a pretty good answer.
And Crowton is just looking for his Leroy to finish the combo.
That's right, yeah. And UKR is in kill range right now.
Yeah, 17. They're very, very close to lethal. Each of them, really.
Oh, Blood Bloom.
So I could go along with the Kazakis potion into Reno Jackson.
You would have to play Reno next turn, unfortunately, but yes, that's actually a pretty good combo. Blood Bloom into Reno. However,
go for the
you do know that the opponent has the combo finisher most likely, so I don't know if you would cast that.
So you grabbed an 8/8 and +6 on the minions.
Heals before using the potion. However, this does drop him back to 15.
So Leroy will kill. Not Leroy.
Is that he does have no, he can't
Shadow
do that.
Flame.
I'm thinking a threatening board from UKR.
I'm thinking Mountain Giant, Power Overwhelming, Shadow Flame clears the board. Actually, it doesn't even do that. It's only 12.
Yeah.
So.
And he does want to save that for the combo, I think. He might use the Sylvanas instead, as that would steal the 8/14. Well, it'd be an 8/7. Or sorry, an 8/8. I actually can't do math. It is an 8/7. Wow, wow. My brain must be asleep. It will be an 8/5. And that seems like the best play. That does, however, remove the potential of using the combo finisher. But he does have the Jiraxis, and he did steal UKR's Gluttonous Ooze.
But now the combo will only be 12 damage instead of 20.
That's right. I mean, he is close. A Jiraxis swing would put him onto 12. Probably force him to use that Reno Jackson. That 8/5, scary. It's not really a clean way to remove it. You have to use Hellfire and Demon Wrath.
We
Or
can
you could Siphon. But I figure he wants to save that for something a little more threatening, which would be the 8/8 Mountain Giant. So he's not seen that yet.
I don't know. I'm very scared at 13 health.
Yeah, especially against Reno Lock. So, starts to rope. Does choose the Siphon. 16 still not really a safe total.
It's safer. Because 13 you can do Leroy Power Overwhelming Dark Bomb. Although he has seen a Dark Bomb, but there's plenty of ways to do 3 damage. Hellfire.
That's right.
Abyssal.
And he did draw his own Gluttonous Ooze. Prevent UKR from setting up his own Jiraxis. Where the hero power is probably a little bit better in this matchup. Just the inability to answer continuous 6/6s from a Reno lock. Tar Creeper.
Minimum health. That's one of the bigger problems.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, Jiraxis does put you in range of the combo. He does know that Wing is gone, but still.
He's
the
got
inability
twisting
to heal
nether.
over at 15. Wow, yeah. Twisting
Scared.
nether. I mean, he has every right to be, honestly. He was dead next turn. Now, the Lotheb, probably not too useful in this current matchup as... Are you sure it's not Crouton? I think it's got to be Crouton. Crouton. I'm looking up... Yeah, it's got it. It's definitely Crouton.
Okay.
But Crouton, he does not have any spell besides the Mortal Coil and Hellfire in his hands, so a Lotheb probably wouldn't do too much. He could play Bran and Lotheb. It's kind of a trolly play, but your enemy's spells would cost 10 more, so there's no way that you could cast any of them.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely not what I want him to do, though. He might just straight up Spellbreaker and Reno, but decides to tap first.
Maybe Tar Creeper?
That is one way to stop the charge coming in, as he is at 12 now.
Yeah, and the combo is 12 at the moment.
That's right. He does have the
If
backup from the Hellfire, though,
Yes.
to deal an extra 3 in the event that he somehow heals for 3.
So do you expect Lord Rexus to ever get played from Crouton? Because that turn was a pretty optimal time to play it.
Yeah. I don't know if he will, because he does... I mean, I would... If he's playing the combo version of Reno, he might make the assumption that your opponent is as well. And we haven't seen Power Overwhelming, or he hasn't seen Power Overwhelming or Leroy or Faceless from UKR. So
Yeah.
that's still... He might make the assumption that's in his hand.
Bran Enforcer would clear, but that's 9 mana.
And it does deal 60 himself. However, that does set up lethal next turn if he draws Leroy. Decides to go for the Faceless. So it looks like he's running out of ways to kill his opponent now, as Lord Jiraxis puts you kind of in an unsafe spot, and it does take up 1 turn to set up. So if UKR manages to draw those 2 cards, he can potentially win. I also think UKR is just safe to start tapping now, as you're not really expecting any more burst, because the Faceless is gone too.
Yes. For right now, Crouton has 6 damage from hand, so that could easily do him in. So if he doesn't play Reno, there's lethal from Crouton.
Yeah, that is a 10 mana combo. However, I don't think UKR would ever expect him to do something like that. So he might tap down to 6, knowing that he thinks he's safe from a Leroy due to the Tar Creeper. But now his opponent does have those 2 Twilight Drakes, which can clear them.
And I think that's game. Bran Abyssal Enforcer. It does 6 damage AoE, and then 4 from Twilight.
Yeah. And he does spot it, which is good.
All right, that's game.
Excuse me, that was 9, not 10. Wow, an unfortunate loss. As that's a very smart play. So good victory to Crouton, making the series 1-1. Do you think he played Warlock again in order to just try and get it out of the way?
Well, Warlock has a good matchup spread overall. Like, you can't really hard... there are no terrible matchups.
Yeah, that is true. Reno Lock was one of the most... one of the strongest decks in Standard for a while.
Yeah, and it only gets better in Wild.
That's right.